Heaps of people were kind of like, that's a really cool idea. You should make a thing of it. So one day I sat down at home with a beer and I just sat there. I bought Dogecoin.com. That's a bit funny. And I slapped the Doge face onto a coin and just put it live. And I wake up the next day to heaps of retweets. And my co-founder, who's based up in Portland, had messaged me and said, hey, I found that you can change I forked the Bitcoin source code or the Litecoin source code, and you can change the font to Comic Sans. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to do this. Like, that's hilarious.
Let's move on to Bitcoin, shall we? That's a virtual
Bitcoin has now almost overtaken
an all-time high this week of $900. Now, at its peak, if you had invested $1,000 a year,
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Today we're going to be talking about, of course, Dogecoin, crypto, what's going on with the dip we had today. What were those price points? And is this now the rip? And when is the real rip coming in this bull market? So we will talk about not only Doge, we'll talk about some Shib, we'll talk about a few other cryptos and whatever else you guys want to talk about too. You can just leave a comment in the chat. Be glad to see what's on your mind. There's been a lot going on though. And we're 2 weeks after the big dip we had on July 4th. We're 2 weeks away from the end of the month. Next week is the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, of which usually Bitcoin doesn't perform very well, but I think this week may be different. This time may be different, especially if Donald Trump is actually going to be making an appearance and giving a speech at a Bitcoin conference. It's like, wow, that'll be awesome. And we have Ethereum spot ETFs. Looks like they are going to start trading next week. And Hester Pierce of the SEC this morning said that maybe they can relook at the staking part of that ETH, which was something that Gary Gensler was most likely totally against. But I have a feeling Gary Gensler isn't going to be the chair of the SEC much longer. And maybe Hester is going to put her name forward as the next head of the SEC because she knows her stuff when it comes to crypto. And so far, all of the things that she said publicly have been pretty good, in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, we've got current price under 12.5 cents for Dogecoin. And we had Bitcoin do a dip, and that dip was just below 64K. Right there on the dip. And where was that price that it went to? I'll show you that. It's not random. And you guys know who've been watching me. You know, not random. That is a particular price point right there. And of course, anytime you see a big green circle on my chart, that means what? It means I bought more Doge. Yes. I did buy on this dip as well today because I still had some cash left over from the sale of my Render tokens. Of course, Render has continue to go up in price. But Coinbase is not going to be doing the migration from the former RNDR token to the new RENDR, full render token. And so I was going to have to sell them anyway. And a little cash left over from that. So I did my price target. I'll show you why I chose that. And limit order hit, order filled, more Doge and Kriss is back. And maybe that's the last we see of this price. And we just come back up, reclaim 12.5, and we move up from there to the end of the month. I can see that happening. Could there be another dip? Maybe. I mean, but the big Bitcoin, selling from Germany is behind us. I mean, the German government did say, hey, we made billions of dollars off of that Bitcoin profit. And I was like, hey, golf clap. Golf clap. Yeah, good for you, Germany. Good for you. You could have made a lot more. You could have made a lot more if you just held on to that Bitcoin. But apparently there was some rule or regulation or something that they couldn't continue to hold on to it, so they had to sell it. At least that's the story that's out there. And what did it do to the price of Bitcoin? Well, again, we had the dip back on the 4th of July, where Bitcoin came down to 54K. But now we're back up to 64K. $10,000 recovery, just like it never happened. It's just like it never happened. Because we are in still an overall bull market, despite pullbacks. These pullbacks are expected. We've shown them on charts in previous bull cycles that there are pullbacks in the price of Bitcoin and crypto that happen because, stuff happens, right? Not only do you get overbought, people taking profits, but you get stories like the German government having to sell tens of thousands of Bitcoin, or Mt. Gox, right? Finally being able to distribute all of that Bitcoin, which may or may not be sold. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen to all of that. Another FUD in the market that continues to happen. But in a bull market, it's resilient. And it just gets bought right back up. So that recovery right back to 64.5, which is where Bitcoin was back on the 15th of May, where it was again on the 21st of June. And here we are on the 17th of July, and we're right back at that line. Despite all of that FUD. Got through it all. Next week is the Bitcoin conference. And then we've got ETH next week. And what's going to happen with ETH most likely is going to eclipse 3,900, move on up over 4K. And that could kick off the real alt season. The real alt season where we see Bitcoin dominance finally start to subside. And that's going to be on the power of ETH and alts, of course, outperforming Bitcoin, which is what I've been saying is coming. And we're almost there. And we're almost there. Bitcoin dominance at 55%. Ben Cowen's still been talking about a spike up to 60%. I just don't see that happening. Not going to make it this cycle, Ben, or probably any other cycle. Too many other cryptos, having the attention of too many other crypto investors. But you know what also happens in 2 weeks? It's the end of July, and my price prediction of 13-cent Doge is still on the table. It's still there, right there. 2 weeks away. Could be that 13-cent mark is going to hit, and Kriss will have 2 out of the last 3 months price prediction hit exactly the target. Funny how that happens. And then I'll erase that little doodle and I'll make a new one for August. We'll see how August does. August is where I'm expecting some good things, because look what happens in August. Yes, it's the wedge. The big orange wedge is coming to a point near the end of August. Yes, we did have a little dip below the bottom part of the wedge. I get that. But we recovered back up nicely as if that dip never happened. And so it continues. But that is a story for next month. Right now, today, we've got a dip on our hands. I bought some on the dip. Did any of you guys? How did I pick that? Why did I buy here? There's not just one reason. There's multiple, as usual. Bitcoin dips below 64K as U.S. equity sell-off stalls crypto rebound. Yeah, we had a big dip in NVIDIA and the other big tech stocks today. Profit taking, for the most part, on those. They had to have a cooling off. But that's not the reason Bitcoin dipped below 64K. No, that's not the reason. We have the fear and greed index is now, look at that, 69. 69. Back to greed. Is that why we had a dip? Because it's greed again? I mean, just 2 weeks ago, we were down here in fear. Remember that? It got all the way down to fear. Now, 2 weeks later, we're all the way back up to greed again. Because that fear was a quick dip. A quick dip, and we're back. As Lark says, the crypto market moves so fast. Just 4 days ago, the crypto fear and greed index was at 25, indicating extreme fear. 4 days later, it's 69. It's sitting at 69, indicating greed. It's crazy how a couple of green candles can totally change the crypto sentiment. Isn't it? Greed. We're back. We're back. So we can look at 2 dips. We can look at the bigger dip that we had 2 weeks ago on July 4th, or today's smaller dip. We were buying both of those dips. But what about this price? Why did I choose to buy Doge at this price right here? What was going on? So I was watching the markets like I usually do, particularly Bitcoin and what Bitcoin was doing. And when Bitcoin started to come down, I was like, you know, from yesterday, this 200 candle moving average on the 15-minute time frame, which I know is a small time frame, but when it crossed over 64K right there, when it crossed over 64K early this morning, I was like, you know what? It's time for some liquidations. We've been doing those short liquidations as the price was going up and up and up. Shorts getting liquidated out. But what usually happens? New long positions are created. And where those longs get liquidated to, at what prices? And I was just convinced that a dip below 64K was going to be the price. But I wasn't going to buy Bitcoin. I was going to buy Dogecoin. So I calculated based on Doge's price versus Bitcoin's price, where the limit price would be on a dip if Bitcoin dropped just below 64K. And I set it at 12.15 cents. That was my limit order set of the remaining funds I had from the sale of the render tokens that I did. And it hit. Order filled. Because why? Why did Bitcoin go down to this level right here? Well, there was a $2.15 million leveraged long on Binance at a liquidation price of $63,935. That's right, $63,935. Now, I didn't know that that was there, but I was guessing it was there. I guessed it was there. And there were some other ones too, right around that same price. But that was the big one, was this one, $2 million, $63,935. And what did Bitcoin drop to? 63,900. Funny how that happens. Total coincidence that that happened to that price. Total coincidence. And then what happens after it hits that price? Liquidates that and other large leveraged longs. Price comes right back up, right where it was, as if nothing happened. That's what happened. That's it. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with what happened in the stock market. Now, the stock market going down did give the opportunity for this price drop to happen easier because the stock prices are going down. Typically, you don't have a lot of buying of Bitcoin going on. They're waiting. They're waiting for the dip to happen on like the NASDAQ and the tech stocks, because generally Bitcoin does follow what those stocks do. Well, there you go. There it is. So I got a little more Doge in my bag. And earlier I topped up a little DCAing on Injective and Celestia, two that I had from late last year that I was a little down on, needed to bring my average down because they both got hit pretty hard on July 4th. So did a little dollar cost average on those. And I'm already up on those as well as the stacks that I had bought that I told you guys about. And even though render has gone up about 12, 13%, since I sold the render, stacks has gone up 14 or 15%. So I'm doing okay. Now, will render outperform other alts? It could, but again, on Coinbase, they're not going to do the migration to the new render tokens, and those old RNDR tokens are soon going to be worthless. So if you have any RNDR or render, you got to do something about that. Now, you can send it over to crypto.com and they'll do the migration for you. That's a choice. You can do that. But since I was like, I've already made a 4x on the render. Yes, 4x profit on render from $1.50 up over $6. I was like, I'm just going to book the profit. I'm good. Rotate that money into something else I think could actually outperform render, which stacks was at the top of the list because I had some stacks before last year, had booked profit on, and had moved that money out of stacks because there was this big threat of this lawsuit continuing. Well, that threat's gone now. SEC removed the lawsuit. So I bought back into stacks. So that's how all of that played out. But this dip here, That's all it was. So yes, I've got more Doge too. Always a good thing to have more Doge. So let me check what's going on in the chat, see how you guys are doing, and then we will get to the rip part of the live stream. That was all the dip. We just talked about the dip. You guys want to know about the rip. That is coming. We'll talk about the rip in just a minute. How's everybody doing? Matt, how are you? Getting over $1 will be hard. I wonder if and when it does, somewhere over $1 will be Dogecoin's new support line. Well, there will always be new support lines, that's for sure. It's just, could that support outlast what could be the following bear market? And that all depends on what happens with Doge and what is it that causes that run up over $1. Is Doge actually being used on X Twitter? Then the bear market may actually not be so bad for Dogecoin. You would invest into Jasmy, but you don't want to have too many different platforms, too many different wallets, too many different cryptos, tend to lose track. Yeah, that is always a challenge. I know I am over. I have too many. I just ended up, because I do this and I talk to a bunch of you guys and, hey, Chris, check this out. Oh, look at that. Or, you know, this news is happening on this thing and that's happening on that thing. It's like, oh, I need to be in that. Oh, I need to be in that. And I end up with 25 different cryptos. Never again. At the end of this bull market, I'm going to pare that down quite a bit. Minimum 2 Bitcoin, Dogecoin, which I'll always have. And then we'll see about what's happening with some others. Jasmy, I still have. Jasmy fighting 3-cent line. And here's Jasmy right here. It was above 3 cents, dipped below this morning, but trying to reclaim that 3-cent line. And then it can move back up to 4 cents, which would be another 30% move on top of the 3, just to revisit 4 where it just was not too long ago. So Jasmy, still a good bet. Even though I'm up about 8x, almost 9x on my Jasmy, I'm not ready to take profits on it yet. Jasmy's one I'm holding and waiting to run through the rest of this bull market to see what happens. A lot of good news going on about Jasmy, so I'm waiting. Hey, Star, how are you? Price today was getting close to my July price prediction, and then dump what happened. Well, told you what happened already, but yes, we are getting close to 13-cent Doge again, and that is what we could see at the end of the month, or maybe higher. Who knows? But this recovery from this dip is looking pretty nice so far this afternoon. And eventually Bitcoin is going to get up to the point where we're going to start taking out shorts again, particularly if it gets up to like 72,000, and then we're going to see a huge short squeeze happen. But I get ahead of myself. That's the rip. We're not talking about the rip quite yet. Get ahead of myself. But this is nice right now. Recovery. Price should go back up by mid-August. We'll talk about that in a minute, Wei. But yes, it's accumulating time now. Still. Hey, Ol, how are you? Doge, diamond hands, rocket ship to the moon, all of that. Good stuff. Let's go, Mike. Let's go. What's up, Jason? I'm still buying Doge. Still buying Doge. Moon, soon. Bounce for the month of August. Could be. Hello, Rocky. How are you? Darth Mike bought ICP on the dip. He got into the ICP game. Or maybe you already had ICP and you're loading up more into your bags. Could be. I personally don't own any ICP. I don't plan on buying any ICP. I'm good with what I got. I am not planning on buying any more of anything else this bull market. I'm good, but good luck with your ICP. And like I said, I want everybody to make money in this bull market. I want every cryptocurrency to moon. I want everybody to get rich and be wealthy, whatever wealth is to you. I want that all to happen. Jay Vanderbeek from Holland. Good evening, sir. How are you? You're probably at that time of the year where it's still like really light out at 10 o'clock at night, right? So it's still light where you are, enjoying your after dinner drinks, hopefully sitting outside, a nice warm temperature. That's nice. That's sweet. The good part of life, right? Got to enjoy it. Samuels, two things certain, Kriss streaming and taxes. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just about every week. Throw in a few extra here and there. If I can't make a certain date, I'll let you guys know. But here we are. Things are a little slow. It's the middle of July. A lot of people taking the summer off. They're out enjoying things. That's okay. Don't want to be sitting inside watching some guy on YouTube talk about Dogecoin and crypto. I get it. That's all right. But when the prices start ripping, you're going to be here. You're going to want to be here. It's going to be exciting. We will get there. Rocky says over $1. Dollar is going to be almost impossible. Well, Rocky, again, it depends. What is happening with Doge? Is Elon going to incorporate it into X payments? That would be huge. Doge would be going higher than $1 if that happens. Without it, I don't think Doge can get to $1. Honestly, of course, unless he does like the Tesla thing, right? And accepts it for Tesla cars, which would be huge. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Hayden, XRP, what's going on now? Yeah, everybody talking about XRP. We zoom out here to the 1 hour chart. Let me reset this auto. This is the Doge, which is pretty good. Pretty good over the past few days for Doge. Recovered from the 10-cent range, blasted through the 11s, and now in the 12s. And it's like, you know, that's a pretty good looking chart, right? Good looking chart. Look at XRP. Very, very gradual. But then over the past 24 hours, XRP is making a big move up to 62 cents. Sorry, 62 cent XRP. The last time XRP was at 62 cents. Ooh. I got to change my chart. It was back here, early April. Early April was the last time XRP was at this price. And XRP has had a terrible summer. But since July 4th, at the bottom, XRP is now up 60%. 60%. And what does that mean for our CryssPax DCA portfolio, of which we do own some XRP? Big news, guys. Guess what? XRP is now in the green. Yes. XRP and Matic were the two that were negative. XRP is now in the green. We're up now 6% on our XRP because our average price of buying was 58 cents. So now at 62 cents, hey? But Matic is still doing bad. Sorry for anybody who has a big bag of Matic, but Matic just not really moving much. But that happens. But overall, in the Kriss Pax DCA portfolio, we are up over 100%. $22,000 is the current amount in our portfolio, which is over a 2x. But we got a long ways to go. If you want to know more about this portfolio and about this 75,000 Dogecoin and how I'm going to be giving that away, let me know if you haven't heard the story yet. I think most of you guys have heard them. You know what's going on. But that's coming. That is coming. Meanwhile, Doge continues to recover from the noontime dip today. Hey, Logan, how are you? I bought a Tesla mug with my Dogecoin. Did you ever buy anything? I did. I bought this. This is the Tesla Cyber Whistle I bought with Dogecoin a couple years ago. You can't get this now. This is, of course, when the actual cyber truck itself was still on the drawing boards and was not in production. But yeah, I got a whistle. Paid for with Dogecoin, direct from my wallet to Tesla's wallet, probably how you got your mug as well. So yep, I got the whistle. It's not the best whistle in the world, but that's the way it goes. It's rather high-pitched, but it's a whistle. And it's a cool thing that I have on my desk to show off and to talk about. And it was all paid for in Dogecoin. The cyber whistle. Hit here. I got my check yesterday, bought Chainlink, Avalanche, and Compound. Hopefully everything hits. I personally own Link and AVAX. Never got into Compound. Just, I don't know. Again, can't own everything. But I do have in my bag of 25 different cryptos, I do have Link and AVAX. Hi, you want that for everyone. Ask how much money do we need for that? Yeah. How much do you need to be wealthy, right? To be wealthy, how much do you need? Exactly. Mr. Real, how are you? I don't know what you're talking about with these other coins. I don't follow these. XCN, WFT, SWFT. Crack or Cratch. If you are in East and West Coast, you would need around 3 million to retire. If not, 1 to 2 million should be enough. Buy your coins accordingly. Yeah, if you're living in a city, especially metropolitan city, an expensive one like I am in Boston, you need more Doge to survive on. Whatever you call wealth to be. Mine is being debt-free. Debt-free in everything, even housing, like not owning a mortgage. Yeah, you still have to pay the property tax and you still have to pay the insurance on the house. You know, for safety, you do that. But not the bank. I do not want monthly checks going to a bank. That's my goal at the end of this cycle. Anyone, Doge will hit $4 to $5. Just think, why not go there if Elon is behind it? Doge ETF could be coming, many more could be in a longer period of time. Yes. I'll talk about the rip in just a minute. We'll get to the rip. Logan loves the cyber whistle. Awesome. The mug is cool too. Glad you got a mug. Elon is donating the Trump campaign. Will he be some sort of consultant? I think he just wants a change in the leadership of the country. That's it. I think that's all he wants, is a change in the leadership of the country, because the way the country is going now is not good. That's all. Up to about 93,000, trying to DCA as much as I can before the takeoff happens. That's good. So you got, 100K is a good target for your Doge, and then take it from there. Anybody know what blockchain would be best for securing the elections? Transparency is great and all. In the future, could they tokenize elections so that everything is on a blockchain? Maybe. It'll take a long time to get there. Something like that. That would be a long time. But I'm in agreement with Vivek Ramaswamy, who's saying, let's make Election Day a holiday. Let's get rid of all of the early voting, get rid of all the absentee voting. Like, find a way to do it on that day, a national holiday, Election Day, and everybody shows up to vote. That's it. You've got to show your ID to vote, and you vote. It's as simple as that. But games will continue to be played if they can be. Hey, everybody. I don't think people realize how much it would take to get to $4 to $5. Shaking your head. We're ways off from that. I agree, Patrick. Ways off from that. To make $100,000 in this bull run, how much money do you need? To make $100,000. Well, if you have $100,000 in Dogecoin at 12 cents, then when Dogecoin hits 24 cents, you've then made $100,000. So it all depends on how much you have to invest and what your price targets are. That's the easiest one right there. Now, I know a lot of people don't have $100,000 sitting around to invest in crypto. Hopefully, you've been dollar cost averaging and buying in over the past 2 years. So now you've got a little bit. And some that you bought maybe at 6 cents, which is now at 12 cents. So you've doubled on that Doge. If you were buying last summer when we were, some of you were here last summer. I was buying Dogecoin live into this portfolio right here, because you can see the average price of all of the Doge in this portfolio is 6.1 cents. We have 75,000 Dogecoin at 6.1 cents. Now worth almost $10,000. And I have personally about 2.5 million Dogecoin, a little bit more than that, not quite 3. And my average is just a little bit more than this. I'm looking at making millions of dollars. If this bull market plays out, millions. Wealth building. Again, we've been talking about wealth building for the past 1.5 years. All those videos are on my channel. You can go check them out. Wealth building. letting the 4-year cycle play out. And again, I'll show you the diagrams in just a minute on the rip part of today's topic of dip then rip and what that might look like. $10 to $15K in Doge right now. Right, so if Doge does a 8x from here, right, gets up to about 90 cents, then you've got $100,000. If that's in dollars, I'm just guessing that. Joseph, how are you? Staying cool, I hope. Jason was here. I remember last summer. DCAing. And you got some in the 5s too, I remember. Wealth changing for sure. Doge will 100% rip at some point. Exactly. I'm going to show you in just a minute what that looks like. And this could be a crazier bull run that will happen in the following years. It could very well be. So let's start with our good friend Mustache, El Crypto Prof. Look at Bitcoin first. For those that have been following me for a while, it's still all about the 4-year cycles. The charts continue to repeat every 4 years. 2012, 2016, 2020, and now we're in 2024, where the same thing has happened. As Mustache says, is it finally time to smash through wave B? At least that was the case in all previous cycles. We have a fake out run. We have a retest. That retest is part of a dip following the previous all-time high. Then we fumble around a little bit, and then we take off. Here we are again, 2016. We have a fake out, retest, fumble around. That retest comes back to that point B, which is the previous second high of the previous cycle, fumbles around a bit, and then takes off. 2020, same thing. From that B point, over, fumble around a bit, and then take off. This cycle, we actually went a little bit above that B point because of those Bitcoin spot ETFs. But that doesn't change the narrative. And so now here we are fumbling around a bit, and then what happens next? Rip, rip, rip. This is what's coming, guys. This is what's coming. I'm not betting against the 4-year cycles. I'm not betting against it. One could also look at Wyckoff. It looks like we're currently going to experience the true spring event in the Wyckoff. And what was that final spring position? Well, in this whole Wyckoff accumulation, we could be looking at July 4th being that final spring position. That dip on July 4th. It's like, okay, Wyckoff, here we go. What does that mean for altcoins? Altcoins, according to Titan of Crypto, says alt crypto market back above the 61.8 fib level. 2-weekly candle closed just above it. See the candle wick manipulation? Welcome to crypto. Patience is key. We retest at this level. And then this is the fractal of what happened last time, which takes altcoins from the previous high of 2 trillion, and this goes up to almost 6 trillion, or almost 3 times higher in the overall market cap of altcoins. That's all crypto, excluding Bitcoin. This is the bull run we are waiting for. Why I am heavily in altcoins, and why I think altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin coming forward. And we're going to see a drop in the Bitcoin dominance. Is this right here? Are you guys ready for that? Well, what does that mean for Doge? Well, we can go back and we can look at 2016 into 2017. We can look at 2020 into 2021. And then we can look where we are now in 2024 and say, we've been here before. We were exactly right here in the summer of 2020. Exactly same, almost exact configuration of candles before the rip. 2016's was a little bit different, a little bit more kind of dragged out because, well, frankly, not a lot was going on with Dogecoin in 2016, but didn't stop the rip from happening. 4-year cycles. 2016 into 2017, 2020 into 2021, and now here we are in 2024, and we're sitting here. We just had the spring point from the Wyckoff on July 4th. We just had, or are in the middle of, the little futzing about with Bitcoin, right in that B zone from the previous highs of the previous cycles, the second highs. As JD says, Dogecoin, one of the most beautiful chart structures I've seen. Dumb money who get wrecked will deny. Glad we called the 45% crash, blah, 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 Patreon, Discord, blah, blah, blah. Majority of my orders have been filled, just like mine today. My final Dogecoin order was filled. I have no more Dogecoin orders. Doge is getting ready for something big. What is the target? What is the target? We've been talking about that previous streams. Where does the price of Dogecoin go? To me, it depends on how Dogecoin is being used now. It has now become the Dogecoin transitioning from a hopium coin and a meme to a utility coin, how it's actually going to be used. If Elon Musk just starts tweeting about Dogecoin, those tweets just haven't really done much this year. Of course, he hasn't come out and said, like, I support Dogecoin. Well, I mean, he has said it. And he's got to follow through and actually do it. That's what we're waiting for, is the doing, right? You got to be the doing, right? We need the doing. That will be the rip. We've seen what the rip could look like in Bitcoin. We've seen what the rip could look like for altcoins. What about Dogecoin? What is the rip? Exactly, A-Star. Talk is cheap. Make it happen. So, Dogecoin, 14% post-halving rally continues. Here's when the real breakout is coming. Real breakout. Here we are. Yet another 4-year cycle post. This from Mickey Bull Crypto. Bitcoin halvings are every 4 years. Post halving, we have this kind of falling wedge. We are in a falling wedge here right now. Previous 2 times has led to big breakouts. What is coming here? What is this? The breakout in 2017 came over the 1.618 fib and then eclipsed it by this yellow box here. The next one in 2020 into 2021 eclipsed the 1.618 fib and went higher, which is this yellow box, which is a bigger yellow box because of like the extraordinary gains we saw in 2021, Dogecoin going all the way up to 73 cents. Totally overbought, which is why it got shorted all to hell and came crashing all the way back down. But where are we now? Right? The dip before the rip. Where are we now? We're in this downward channel. The 1.618 fib is $1. It's $1. Anything over that is in this future yellow box. The past 2 cycles, we have eclipsed the 1.618 fib and gone higher. That is the potential that Dogecoin has. The post-halving wave. Get ready. Yeah, Joe. That's what all these charts point to. Now, again, to make that happen, this time, you got to have the use case. You got to be using Doge. In my opinion. There's this new thing, just a warning, called Doge Lend. Don't get into that. Doge Lend has nothing to do with Dogecoin. Don't get messed up at anything lending when it comes to your Dogecoin. If you want to make money in Dogecoin, you buy it and you hold on to it, either in a ledger hardware wallet. You can keep it on Robinhood, probably okay. Don't go lending it. Don't start any lending thing. Even Robinhood has some new stock lending thing, and I'm like, no. Don't want to be playing those games. Keep it safe. It's one thing to make money in crypto, but in order to make money, you got to keep it. You got to keep it safe. So keep that in mind. Will Dogecoin hit $1? Will price prediction as wallet addresses reach? What did the wallet addresses reach? 90 million wallets. Price of Dogecoin has risen by 2%, reaching 12.57. Crypto market enjoys a 3% lift in the past 24 hours. Doge is now up 15%. Gains coming. We now have over 90 million Dogecoin wallet addresses. Once we get over 100 million, that's going to be something to celebrate, and that's going to come fast. That is coming. Doge to Shib, the next big winners. You know, Doge is going to go on its big run, right? It's going to go on its big run when it happens. Shib is also most likely going to go on a big run as well. We've been talking about that. What's happening with Shib? Dogecoin killer Shib setting up for an inevitable bull run. Inevitable bull run. And typically when you see Shib go on a big run, Dogecoin's price goes up. When Dogecoin goes on a run, Shib's price goes up. They still are somewhat related in price action. They're still burning SHIB tokens, not anywhere near as many as I think they should be burning. But they've got ETH Toronto is coming up in August, and SHIB will be a big sponsor of that. Still, the Shibarium is out there. Shiba Swap is out there. It's all good. SHIB is gearing up for a big pump. So that will be coming. On the liquidation front, it looks like we've had some on XRP while we've been talking. Some XRP shorts have actually been getting squeezed out. So, wow, XRP. Take a look at that. Yeah. XRP regaining. Once XRP gets up over 63.5 cents, the short squeeze will be on for XRP. Then it's like, look out. We could see an XRP short squeeze happening. That's pretty cool. Hey, I'll take that. Again, the only XRP I own is the one that's in our Kriss DCA portfolio. It's about 1,200 XRP, worth about $750 right now. Not great, but again, I didn't trust XRP. I've said some bad things about XRP in the past. And even Tom Crown said today, if XRP goes on a big run, it'll most likely get shorted back down. A lot of people will be taking profits, and it'll come crashing back down into the 50s. Most likely, and I agree, that will happen. So, let me catch up on the chat here. What is going on, my friends? Dog is a man's best friend. I'm all in on Doge and WIF. Making money off them dog tokens. Jay, how are you? $40,000 coins, average cost 15.7 cents. Joshua, how are you? Enjoying your vacation? Glad to hear it. Glad you could tune in. Did we retest already, Xiao? Could be. I mean, there could be another dip coming. The dips may not be over yet. There could be some more hunting that the market makers have on some long liquidated positions that they want to flush out. As Patrick says, no, of course not. Could be. This bull run will probably change people's minds about digital currency. Larry Fink, crypto's here to say, yes. We have a lot of others talking about crypto. Mark Cuban's talking about crypto again. We have Donald Trump and JD Vance. Trump and Kennedy are both going to be speaking at next week's Bitcoin conference. It's all good. When is this going to happen, Rocky? I wish I knew. I don't know what Elon's plans are. I wish I knew. With Doge, it's going to be linked to Elon. The big run, the big rip. Otherwise, Doge is just going to follow the crypto market, which still could do very well on its own. The rip's going to happen. It's just Doge won't be $1, but Doge could get to 50 cents. Just following the rest of the market and what it's going on. If indeed we're going to see like a 3 or 4x and everything else, Doge will move right along with it. But Doge won't go on its own big rip unless it has its own catalyst. 5x, maybe. Doge 1, maybe end of the year. Don't have any news from Astrobotic on where they are with that Doge 1 satellite update. So as soon as we get an update on that news, I'll let you guys know. If China turns around on Bitcoin again, that'll be big. Yes, Patrick, that will be big. In the past, every time China has flip-flopped and gone back in favor of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin markets have rallied. How does the tax work on Dogecoin and Robinhood? You aren't taxed until you sell in Robinhood. So as soon as you sell the crypto, then you will be liable for the tax. That's it. If you just hold it year after year after year and you don't sell any, then there's no tax. Not until you sell. And then you're taxed on the profits. We'll be talking a lot about that come December. And I'll have another epic crypto tax live stream like I did last December. What is my prediction to the halving Doge? No, that diagram was looking at past Bitcoin halvings. Past Bitcoin halvings. Dogecoin doesn't have. There's no halving for Dogecoin. Dogecoin just continues to churn out the same mining rewards minute after minute after minute. There's no halving. The Bitcoin halvings are on 4-year cycles. And this chart was just comparing the price action of Dogecoin overlaid over the Bitcoin halving. That's all this chart was. Hi, Olaf. Someone says I sold all my Shib and Doge and loaded up on still. XLM to the moon. This is my first bull run. I'm not betting much, here to learn. Since I joined the market, I learned some lessons, good and bad. Yep. And the big lesson is going to be taking some profits come this fall, next spring, maybe over the winter. That's what we'll be talking about. Because my mistake in my first bull run 4 years ago was not taking any profits and just holding. And then experienced the whole bear market and still had everything. Sterling, how are you? 353,000 Doge. You have a target of 50 cents. It's good to have a plan. I'm not going to be totally out when I'm selling. I'm going to be taking levels, layers, scalping bits, taking profits here and there, not being completely out, because you never know what's going to happen with Elon. You never know. And I would hate to be completely out of Dogecoin and then see Dogecoin like run to $2. So I'll always have some. What's up? Been holding Dogecoin since 9 cents, not selling. Been telling your friends. Super cycle? Yeah, there's still a lot of theories about super cycles, but until that happens, I won't believe it. Right now, I'm still firmly into the 4-year cycle mode, and that in 2026, we're going to have a bear market in 2026. And so I will not be holding all of my crypto through 2026. We have some more liquidations happening. So the price is coming down. Here's Bitcoins. So there's more leveraged longs that they want to take out. So they're driving the price back down. So what happens? You see a dip, price starts to come up. Then you get people opening new big leveraged long positions, trying to ride that momentum up. And the exchanges don't want to give you free money. So they drop the price to liquidate those new leverage positions. And it's happening now. Leverage. I don't follow Tezos, Armando. Whiff will rip. Again, you know, that's how memes are, right? So it's going to be on that Vegas sphere for like a week or so. And they rotate, you know, images through there. And there'll be this picture of this, you know, the dog with the hat on. Are people going to know what that means? People who don't already know, are they going to know what that means? I don't know. I don't know about that. It'll be cool to see. It'll be fun. But is that going to make the price of whiff rip? I don't know. But the world of memes, you can't explain. Hi, Ina, how are you? It's hot here. It's not nice and warm. It's hot. Still hot. We're going to have a nice weekend, though. It's going to cool off a little bit. So then it'll be nice and warm this weekend. But right now, it's still hot. That's what I'm doing, just holding. Yeah, we were all holding back then. 2021. Still convinced that Dogecoin was going to turn around and go to $1. I mean, Bitcoin went from 64K, dropped down to like in the 30s, and then turned around and went back up and hit a new all-time high at 69. Dogecoin didn't do that. It went back up a little bit, right? Up to 35 cents. But that's as high as it got, was 35 cents. Where Bitcoin went and reclaimed a new all-time high after the May-June dip, but not Doge. But here's where we have now on the weekly chart, and it shows that July 4th dip right there. And we're moving back up on the weekly. Looking pretty good. $2016, good to buy the coins for the next 2028. Oh, 2026. I think that's what you mean. Well, again, you have to sort of let the bear market play out. It could go into 2027. You have to look at the economic conditions, everything that's going on. We'll be here, though. We'll be here talking about it. I'll tell you when I'm buying back in. And how can you learn to sell? Again, we'll be talking about that this fall. We're not there yet. Now it's, to me, it's not time to be talking about selling. Too early. Whiff's face on a sphere is less than Doge face on the actual moon. I think there's more chance of the Doge meme being recognized outside of the world of crypto than the whiff. But again, there are memes, you never know. Once Doge gets utility on X, liquidity from all memes will flow to Doge. I'd say most, probably not all. People will still be betting on other memes. That's not going to end. But yeah. People will be flocking back to Dogecoin when that happens. And that's the thing about memes. You don't have to understand the hype. It is what it is. Just go along for the ride. Chow Snate says, a safe strategy is for every 100% gain, you sell 50% to take out your initial expense. Yeah, that's a conservative approach in crypto to do that. You can miss out on big gains, though. Like my Jasmy, again, is up almost 10x. After it went 2x and I took half of it out, I would have half the gains. Again, I'm playing the 4-year cycle at this point, not the percentage gains. And I'm waiting for this cycle to play out. This one. I'm waiting for that to happen. Is it guaranteed to happen? No, not guaranteed. But I'm all in if it does. And I feel pretty confident it's going to happen. And it's going to start this fall. And it's going to go through the winter and maybe into the spring even for this first big run up right there. So that's what I'm waiting for. If you have 5,000, what would you prefer to buy, Shib or Doge? If you're questioning one or the other, but you think they both might do well, why don't you put half in one and half the other? Then you're riding both of them. It's something to think about. I understand quite a bit, Davey boy, if you're talking to me. I don't know why WorldCoin went up so much today. I saw there was a bit of news about it, but I pretty much ignore everything regarding WorldCoin. Can people make money on WorldCoin? Sure, I guess so. But I'm not playing the WorldCoin game. I'm waiting for this. And I'm all loaded up. I think on cash right now, I'm at like 0.05% now is in cash after buying on the dip today. Thanks, Davey. Just need to be sure. The PogChamp coin. There's going to be a coin for everything. That comes. So we had that little dip there, took out a couple big leverage positions on Bitcoin. but not really doing much else right now. Just kind of hanging out. No, Patrick. No, 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 no. Sheep's gone on a little dip as well. Almost the same diagram. Kind of doing its thing. But it's going to go on a big run, I believe. $0.17. That's a good target. Got to get up over 13 cents first, but on the 4-hour chart, we do have that 17-cent line right here in yellow. And that will be a resistance line once Dogecoin starts moving again. So I would see that in August breaking out of this wedge and then retesting 17 cents. But that's next month. We're not there yet. Excuse me. It's the news about China allowing crypto real. So the news about unbanning, that news goes in cycles, like every other year or something. And I don't know. I think there could be some good reason why the Chinese government would want to do that. It probably can help them out. They are having a banking crisis in China. There are failing banks. And crypto may be able to help out on some areas there. I don't know. It's hard to get straight news out of China. I mean, there's rumors about like Xi Jinping having a stroke. But then someone said that the picture that was being used to show some problem with him was like from months ago. And it was just like, come on, people. My average Doge price is somewhere in the 6s. I don't know exactly because I got so much Doge in so many different places. It's like 6.5 cents probably overall is my average Doge price. Most will probably fail in their first cycle, the rite of passage. But some get lucky too. They hit it at just the right time and they sell at just the right time. It's if you don't sell and you hold all the way through the next bear market. That's the thing that I'm going to be doing this time. Should I sell when it hits 17 cents and buy back again when it dips? Rinse and repeat. Well, I mean, you learned last time, right? You tried to do this swing trade game and you ended up buying back in at a higher price. So there's always that chance of that happening again. It sounds easy, but it isn't. Because you don't know when Doge will actually hit a resistance level, when the right time to sell and buy back in is going to be. The news about China allowing back BTC can be very good. I mean, yeah, they've got the digital yuan, their digital currency. Why would they allow crypto? Other than a way to make money off of crypto mining. Especially now that Donald Trump wants the United States to lead the remaining Bitcoin mining and have all the Bitcoins being mined here in the United States. Hi, Serena. How are you? Yes, Jason. Cardano never took Doge on the number 9, but Doge was actually getting close to Toncoin for number 8. Let's see where that ends up. Ooh, it is close. It's about $230 million difference now. Doge about to take over Toncoin for number 8. And then Cardano. I mean, Cardano over the past week, Cardano's up 14.5. Doge is up 13.9. So still closing the gap between Cardano and Doge. But Toncoin is down 1.3% over the past 7 days. So that's where Doge flipping Toncoin is getting closer and closer. Doge did take over Ton earlier today. I didn't see that. It might have. Might have flipped it and flipped it back. But thanks, Anthony, for pointing that out. I didn't see that. Yep, could have. We need Doge just to turn around and go on a run and just solidify 8th place. Yes. As Zhao says, we will get 8. Yeah, playing that swing trade game. If you sell your Doge and then the price takes off and you don't have your Doge because you sold it all and you're sitting there with cash, you'll be kicking yourself. Yeah, be careful with that. Zhao, so just Google search Tether and you can learn about it. It's a stable coin. It's mainly used for trading pairs on exchanges and used for cross-border payments. And the backing assets behind Tether are pegged to the US dollar. So it's just called a stable coin. So if you just Google stable coin and Tether, you can read all about it and learn about that. Okay. Yes, and tax implications as well. Darth Mikey brings in, because then your every profit is a short-term capital gains tax. You're not holding the asset for at least a year, at least in the United States. There's a significant savings in your profit on a long-term capital gains tax versus a short-term capital gains tax. So if you're swing trading, you better be making at least an extra 15 to 20% on your swing trade than what you would normally make just holding, because that's how much that difference is going to be on your profit between short-term and long-term capital gains. So yes, good point, Darth. Thanks for reminding. I'm not playing that game anymore. I'm not doing the swing trading game. The only thing I do is I get out of a coin if there's specific bad news about it, and I move into something else. Because I think this bull market, most coins are going to do well. But if a particular one has some really bad news about it and I'm still holding it, why would I do that? I'll get into something else that I think is going to do better. So I occasionally do that. But swing trading the same coin, thinking I can outsmart the market, sell on a pump, and then try and buy it back at a lower price. There are people who do that, but again, the tax implications. It's all short-term capital gains on your profits. That's one thing that's great about Doge. The transaction fees are almost nothing. The last time I transferred like 40,000 Dogecoin out of Robinhood over to my wallet, 40,000 Dogecoin I transferred over, and the fee was like 0.08. Is that right? 0.08 Doge. It wasn't even one Dogecoin worth to move 40,000 Doge. That's pretty cheap. Now, there are some exchanges that will charge a fee on top of that. Binance US was bad at it. They had a fixed fee of, I don't remember how many Doge it was, but it was crazy. Crazy expensive. The fee they put on top of the network fee. So when you have your own wallet, you don't, I mean, there shouldn't be any additional fee that exchanges are charging. Yes, exactly, Jason. Yep, that happened in the summer of 2021. Elon challenged the Dogecoin devs to make Dogecoin faster and cheaper. And they did both. Streamlining the code. And with that, we're able to lower the fees. Pretty cool. Elon believes now he just has to follow through, like we said earlier. He's got to follow through. All right, so that's what we've got for today. Look, looks like we're having maybe a second dip here going on. Again, taking out leverage positions still. That's what this is about. But the rip is coming. And we need to be patient. I'm a believer the rip is coming. I hope you all are doing well. I'll be live again on Friday, probably right around 4 o'clock East Coast time again. Hope you can join then. Meantime, hope you're all well. Have a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.